Okay, cool. So Yvonne, what is the biggest fitness questions that you have?
I think the biggest fitness question that I have would be really identifying what kind of workout that is suitable for you, or for example, so if someone would like to gain strength, then how should they plan that workout? If someone wants to have a fat loss program, a workout that's suitable for that. Yeah. To me, that's one point.
Okay. Who's your coach?
Was Luke.
Was Luke. Now is?
Now is...
You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I guess it's Karen, I suppose.
Okay. How did this question came about?
This question has been in my mind for quite some time, actually. I used to do many different things. Most likely everything in fitness first, and also I've done PT before. So different courses, the way of them giving you the workout is actually very different. So it's just curious about.
Okay, so you want to know, but which part of this question matters most to you? You want to know about like how do you plan your workout? If it is for fat loss, if it is for muscle building, etc. Which one matters most to you?
I guess that would be when I first joined Honey Brothers, it's actually fat loss. But then essentially, when I'm working out here, I just grew to like the workouts.
Grew to like the workouts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it doesn't. So if my body changes according to the program, then to me that's bonus. If it doesn't, I know that I'm stronger. So the objective actually changes as I go along the program.
Okay. Okay, first of all, I would like to address that. You mentioned planning the workout. Okay, now planning the workout versus planning the program are actually two completely very different things.
Yeah, that's quite true.
Yeah, so which is the actual question that you want to
I guess
ask?
that would be the program.
The program. I see. Okay, so we'll skim the surface, a very general 30,000 foot overview of a strength building program. When you talk about strength building or muscle building program, I'm going to generalize it as one. It's actually two different things, but I'm going to generalize it as one. There's always need a principle known as progressive overload.
Right.
So what it means is that you will be doing certain things. You want to control certain variables, okay, like how many sets, how many reps, and for a certain period of time. And you would actually progressively increase the intensity of your training.
Right.
So it means you do more work within the same amount of time.
Right.
And after that phase is over, you would actually attack it from a different angle again. Okay, so like maybe previously you're attacking it in terms of high repetitions. And then by high repetitions, I don't mean like 30, 40, 50 repetitions. I'm talking about like between 10 to 20. And once you're done with that, you feel that, okay, my progress has stagnated. So the idea then is to actually shift the thing. So maybe I want to go less reps.
Okay.
And
so
then
you just need something to shock the body.
you can say shocked, but it's more like if you were to put in all of the different facets of strength, okay, into one chart. When you do a certain kind of routine, it's not gonna bring all of this up together. It's gonna bring like that, or maybe like that. So as an example, if you were to do low repetitions all the time, then you would train your mind's ability, your brain's ability to control your body.
Okay.
Right? You control your body more. So like as an example, a lot of beginners, right? Well, here's what I noticed. If you give them, maybe they do strict press. You give them maybe 10 kilo. They can do like 20 times, no problem. And then suddenly you give them 22.5 kilo, right? They one rep also cannot do, So how does this discrepancy occur? It's just a small increment in weight. It happens because their mind is not able to control their body. So their potential for their strength is here, but their control is here. So when you train very low repetitions, or when you use complicated movements such as Olympic weightlifting, or very heavy repetition, 2-3 repetitions at a time, you increase your control. Okay, they call it you call it the neuromuscular connection. So you increase your control, but after you maximize that, then you need to have that point where you increase your potential again. Correct? No? So then you go into a hypertrophy range. Correct? And after you go into a hypertrophy range, but what else? What other kinds of angle can we attack it again? Maybe we can attack your recovery time. We can train your recovery rate. We can train your endurance. Okay, your ability to put in work within a given session, so that you don't, instead of having to rest 5 minutes at a time, maybe you can rest 2.5 minutes at a time, so that you can increase your weight again to attack it even more. Does that make sense? Yeah. So first of all, you gotta have progressive overload. Second thing is that you gotta start attacking it from different angles. Try to find different ways that you can work on it. Okay. So that's a 30,000 foot view of muscle building and strength building. We can go a lot more complicated than this, but for the sake of this video, that's pretty much it. Oh, and recovery too. Sometimes, actually not sometimes, most of the time, advanced level, intermediate to advanced level, not elite level. Elite level even more important, but intermediate to advanced level, they would incorporate deload times. So like every 3 weeks they would deload. Every phase, maybe every 1 month or 2 months or 3 months even, they would deload for like a week, where they use almost half or even less than half of what they do. They don't even feel like working. They come and they just run through the motions, but it doesn't even look like a workout to them. So they call those deload days. Yeah, so those 3 things. Okay. To plan, the actual act of planning it is another beast altogether. You gotta go into the details and decide on exercises which matters most to you. You need to talk about starting with compound movements, which is multiple joint movements first, and then you slowly isolate the muscles to work on weaknesses, or certain. When I say weaknesses, it may mean that certain parts doesn't look as good as you would like, or maybe that applies to bodybuilders. So you know that I have such low body fat already, right? So when they tense, they can start to see, okay, my left tricep is not as big as my right tricep. And they can really see. For bodybuilders, it makes a lot of sense for them to isolate to that level. But for people who are let's say I can't differentiate between my left hamstring to my right hamstring. If I can't make any distinction between that, there's really no point to do it. As for powerlifters, Olympic weightlifters, athletes in general, they need to work on muscle groups which are lacking in strength. So if my left leg is weaker than my right leg, that's not a good thing. So I need to work on my left leg. If let's say my triceps are getting in the way of my bench increment, then I need to start working on my triceps. So a lot of these things have to be considered and factored in. Basically, balance. Does that answer your question for muscle building? Okay, cool. All right. So next one is actually fat loss, right? So when it comes to fat loss, right, you on a 30,000 foot view, you want to think about preserving your number one. You got to preserve or build your basal metabolic rate. I always like to say that there is this trifecta of fitness which is often overlooked. People always think that I just need to worry about burning fat when it comes to fitness. It is not true, because the first trifecta of fitness, right, is the basal metabolic rate. Imagine this: if let's say when you in 24 hours you're like working out 1 maximum 2 hours, you have like 22 hours left, right? You can't be working out all day every day. It doesn't make sense. For an average meal, you're burning about 1,600 to 2,000 calories just by doing nothing. Even by sleeping, or maybe you're in a coma, just because you need to breathe, you need to digest your food and so on, right? Increasing your basal metabolic rate, rather than trying to worry about how much calories I'm burning through the workout program, is one thing which people often neglect. So if you were constantly worrying about the kind of workout that gives you the most amount of burn during the workout, you basically don't increase the BMR, because
so basically you're trying to increase the burning rate when you're doing nothing.
Yeah, because let's say you're a complete beginner, you might be burning like 200 calories per session. Spending 1 hour for 200 calories. But if you were to increase your basal metabolic rate when you do nothing, then it makes a lot of sense. Imagine if you can increase your basal metabolic rate by 300 calories. That means every 12 days you're burning 3,600 more calories than someone who didn't focus on that in the first place. And 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories. So it's much more smarter than trying to worry and be fickle about how much calories you burn, wearing that Fitbit watch and all those things. From the day they launch, like those calorie counters, I immediately think that it was rather silly. Why would you want to worry so much about that? Anyway, it's a rant for another day. So that is one. And the way you can increase your basal metabolic rate is by actually increasing your lean body mass. So when it comes to lean body mass, right, that is the amount of muscles that you have.
Okay.
Lean body mass is the amount of muscles you have, plus together with all the internal organs, which is non-fat. Non-fat. So that is one. The second trifecta of fitness is your work capacity.
Okay.
So just now I mentioned, if you're a complete beginner, you burn like 200 calories a session or so on. Well, what if you can increase that? So all those marketing messages sent by marketers all around the world. Hey, my class, my spinning class, the instructors burn 1,000 calories. That's because they are the instructors, which don't do just spinning. They do all kinds of other things outside of class to raise their work capacity, so that they don't huff and puff too much when they teach. Correct or not? So so if you can increase your work capacity, the amount of effectiveness for fat burn during your workout also increases. So that's the second trifecta. So what increases work capacity? Strength and the act of doing the metabolic conditioning workouts that increases your stamina and endurance. When you combine all these three things together, you're actually able to produce even more work within the same amount of time. More work equals more calories, which by the way the calorie calculator doesn't take into account, which is disappointing. But anyway, the third trifecta is durability. So imagine how effective will you be in terms of burning fat if, let's say, you get injured once a month. Bad. Or get injured once every 3 months. Very bad. But that's actually what happens all the time. And instead of looking for help, most of people out there, they try to work around the injury. Okay? So, I can't squat so low because my doctor says my knee is damaged. So instead of trying to figure out how to fix their knee without operation, they refuse to squat more than halfway down. So if you do that, hey, that effectiveness of that squat is going to be reduced by half, right? It's like, if you're going to do 20 reps anyway, you might as well get the full benefit of the full range of motion, right? So durability, the insusceptibility to injuries will allow you to work out more often, more frequent, more intense. And what constitutes durability is things like flexibility. It are things like proficiency in terms of your exercise, which I think is sordidly neglected especially when it comes to boot camps, when it comes to large group exercise classes. They don't worry about that at all. It's very worrying, actually, if you really think about it. You don't worry about how susceptible are you to injury, and no assessment is done. Come here, my fat loss program, here, do. So you must consider all these three things in order for you to see a long, sustainable, permanent fat loss, rather than, I'm going to burn fat, fantastic, I dropped 5 dress sizes. 6 months later, I get injured. Regain 4 dress sizes. So that is something which is very kind of serious that we need to take a look. So that is the 3 elements which is very, very important. So if you talk about like how do you plan a workout program around these 3 elements? So it becomes a simple matter of combining a strength building program, a compound. It's basically 2 parts. One part builds this trifecta. The other part is purely fat burn. Okay, so a good workout program isn't like you go in there and just do 200 burpees. No, it's not. A good workout program for fat loss, you take into account. Let's talk about the first part. The first part, you gotta have all of the things which I mentioned about. in terms of the muscle building program, but without that level of intricacy. So you don't have to go into so detail. You just need to touch like, well, a full-on muscle building program, you go like 4, 5, 6 different exercises. Over here, you don't need to worry about like 2, 3, maximum 3 strength or muscle building exercise to build all of these 3 things. And then superseded by a pure high intensity fat burn program. And that's the basic structure of it. In a sense, but it is not the only structure, it is not the only available structure. You can actually do like resistance training all the way, followed by slow, steady state cardio. But I personally don't like that because it's very boring. Like, I mean, that's what bodybuilders do, by the way. I go and I lift and then 45 minutes on the treadmill. It's very boring for me. I just don't like that. I prefer if I were to do like something for half an hour, resistance training, and the half an hour, high intensity. End of story. It's simple, right? You burn lots of calories in the process. And because it's high intensity, using heavy weights, doing many reps over a short period of time, you burn a lot of calories, but at the same time, you don't make it so that your body has no reason to keep the muscles, right? So yeah, I really like that kind of configuration. There are people who manage to burn fat without having to do any form of calorie burning exercises, and it's all fine. It's totally possible, regardless of whether or not your genetics is primed for that or not. It's just a matter of for those people who don't want to do any form of cardio but want to burn fat, it's just a matter of just taking care of the food. So there are many ways of doing it, but the preferred way of HB is to keep it super simple. Just half an hour, do work on the trifecta of fitness, half an hour, work on fat burn. And it's fun, the half an hour, because you do Metcon, you do things like 5 rounds of whatever. Don't even need to worry about how much rest you need to worry about, or what kind of exercise you need to do. Just worry about killing it, treating it like making it, so that you feel encouraged to do it more. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Alright.